This is He Knows the Sport, bringing you that heat and that fart. We keeping the foot on the what? On the necks. We keeping the foot on the what? On the necks. And like the Tibetan mastiff that I am, I'm applying what? On the immediate pressure. Because pressure does what? It bursts his pipes. Let's talk about it, man. Carmelo Anthony is a basketball player that offensively, he was a beast. Kobe Bryant talked about how Carmelo Anthony was like a bull in the post. Carmelo Anthony, the oxymoron of it is he was not that strong as a basketball player. I'm going to give you guys some gems and some jewels. He wasn't that strong of a basketball player when he was growing up. But he realized that he had to work on his quick release. He realized that he had to work on those elements to be able to get his shot off, right? That was his thing, working on the quick releases and getting his shot off. And he trained with the Kobe Bryants of the world. He trained with the Michael Jeffrey Jordans of the world so that he could understand the elements of jab stepping, right? He could understand the element of getting your shot off. But here's the problem. This is what Phil Jackson talked about and alluded to. Carmelo Anthony was a one-dimensional player. He only focused on one side of the equation, offense. The issue with Carmelo Anthony is Carmelo Anthony could have been a hellified defender. We've seen it in moments where he committed on the defensive end. It's not that Carmelo Anthony sucks on the defensive end. It's just Carmelo Anthony was lazy as fuck. Let me say it again. It's not that Carmelo Anthony sucked on the defensive end. He was just lazy as fuck. When you're dealing with somebody that's lazy on the defensive side of the aisle and lazy on the defensive side of the end, they can't get to the next level. See, Phil Jackson wanted to rest the New York Knicks on Carmelo Anthony because he understood that Carmelo Anthony was that offensive weaponry. He was an offensive juggernaut. But if he could match what he does on the offensive end on the defensive end, it would have been a good night situation. Phil Jackson could have rested the triangle offense. He could have rested the foundation of the New York Knicks upon him. But he realized that Carmelo Anthony lacked something that Kobe Bryant never lacked. He realized that Carmelo Anthony lacked something that Michael Jeffrey Jordan never lacked, which was the element of him being lazy. This is the issue with Carmelo Anthony. He's always been lazy as fuck. That's the issue that He Knows the Sport has with him. This is why He Knows the Sport judges basketball at the highest levels, because we have to judge basketball on both sides of the equation. If you say you are an NBA superstar, you know that term nowadays, you know, a bunch of Rudy Poo and Plum Plum brains, classic Dolce and Troglodytes, ultra fanboys and ultra fangirls with the ultra fanboy with the ultra fangirl rhetorics. They want to tell you that being an NBA superstar is just how you score the basketball. But they don't realize it's more than meets the eyes. Transformers, you know what I'm saying? Like Optimus Prime and Megatron. It is more than meets the eyes. You have to be able to be able to play on both sides of the equation. You got to be able to dominate the ball on the offensive side of the ball, but you got to also be able to dominate the ball on the defensive side of the ball. See, I'm dropping gems and jewels for you guys to get it. So get the notepads out and get to the damn scribbling. This was the issue with Carmelo Anthony. This is why Carmelo Anthony never ascended to the next level. Carmelo Anthony is every bit the better player than LeBron James is. Yes, I'm saying it. Yes, I have the unmitigated gall to say it. Yes, I have the unadulterated, the cutthroat, true telefashion, and what I would say in cold-hearted variation to say this, that Carmelo Anthony was better than LeBron James. But the problem with Carmelo Anthony, he never applied himself on the defensive end to prove it, just like a Kevin Durant. See, the reason why Kevin Durant is better than LeBron is because he's just better offensively and he's better defensively. Let me say it again. Kevin Durant is better offensively and he's better defensively than LeBron James. So he's just a better player. If you just don't know basketball, you're not going to admit that. But those that understand basketball, we're not talking about LBJ Riders Media, LBJ Brigade, LBJ Apologists, LBJ Stands, i.e. LeBron Tards. We're talking about those that really use the true basketball eye test. They would know that Kevin Durant is better than LeBron James on so many levels, so many facets, so many variations, and so many different aspects on the basketball court. Carmelo Anthony could have been there too, but he was just lazy. And see, what Carmelo Anthony experienced when he got blackballed was because of the fact that he was lazy. So Carmelo Anthony had to change some things up. He had to humble himself. He had to shuffle his feet and actually commit somewhat on the defensive end if he wanted to prove that he was something, you know, like a Transformers, more than meets the eyes. But still, in him doing that, Carmelo Anthony, basically like a Shaquille O'Neal, did not reach the full potential of where he should be at. Now people are wondering, why are you saying that? Shaq won NBA championships. Shaq could have won more if he wasn't lazy. So we're not talking about it from the championship standpoint. We're talking about not maximizing your full potential. We're talking about not having the Kobe Bryant mentality of just basically making sure the gas tank is on E, of just maximizing everything, just like a Hino Sport does, and unlimited pressure. Because pressure does what? It bursts its pipes in the unlimited pressure style. Because Hino Sport found out a long time ago, unlimited pressure style is the most dominating style because people don't like to be under pressure. 98% of the people on the planet fold under pressure. Carmelo Anthony's one of them. You see how we can contextualize, go in and out, weave in and out of topics, but get back to the central point? That was the issue with Carmelo Anthony. And Carmelo Anthony was under the bright lights with the New York Knicks. That's a huge market, just like the Los Angeles Lakers, just like the Boston Celtics. And if you don't thrive in a huge market like that, you're not going to thrive anywhere. And when he had the opportunity in his hometown, Madison Square Garden, to prove to New York fans and to prove to everyone alike that he could ascend to the next level, he nutted it up. Why? Not because he wasn't ready for the moment. It's because he didn't put in enough work to apply for the moment. Let me say it again, because what I said was so deep and profound. Let me let that marinate in the corpus callosum and in the cerebellum. So hear me freaking well. He didn't do enough to apply for the moment. And that's why Carmelo Anthony was short-sighted. That's why Carmelo Anthony did not give you what he was supposed to. A guy that's supposed to look up to Kobe Bean Bryant, more like Love Participation Award era recipient, more like the Banana Boat Crew. That's what he's more like than him saying that I looked up to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Because if you did, you would look up to the fact that both of these guys dedicated themselves. Both of these guys left exhausting all fibers of their being on both the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball, because they believe that every time they played the game of basketball, they didn't want to cheat an NBA fan that was watching them playing. But see, this is the problem with Carmelo Anthony. He cheated the sport because he did not commit on the defensive end. And if you're not a cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat truth teller fashion artist, the ultimate truth teller like a Hino Sport, that's bringing you that heat and that fire, and keeping the foot on the what on the next, and keeping the foot on the what on the next to tell you the truth in its most visceral form, then you're gonna lie and delude yourself. We get it. There's Carmelo Anthony fanboys, and they want to sit here, and just because Carmelo Anthony represents the hood, not your hood, he represents his pockets. Your dodo heads, your brain full of mush, and your brainwashed dodo heads. Just because he gives you this fake bravado if he represents the hood, you want to salute him. No, we got to tell the truth about his basketball game. Does he have the ability to be elite on the defensive end? Yes. But he didn't maximize his potential. He was lazy as fuck. And because he was lazy, lazy begets lazy. That was the issue with Carmelo Anthony. It had nothing to do with anything else. It was just the fact that he would not commit and be willing to put the effort on the defensive side of the basketball. But does Carmelo Anthony have one of the quickest releases we've ever seen in the game of basketball? Yes. Second after Kobe Bean Bryant. Because Kobe's just the quickest release. Kobe's the fastest scorer the NBA's ever seen. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Scored 62 points in 29 minutes and 36 seconds. But Carmelo Anthony is the second fastest. I'm going to give you guys a little NBA encyclopedia. Remember, he knows the sport. When he wants to drop out the NBA encyclopedia, he can do that. Carmelo Anthony also has records for scoring too. He's the second fastest scorer the NBA's ever seen, behind Kobe Bean Bryant. That's what his legacy is. An offensive dominant player, but a pedestrian on the defensive end. Carmelo Anthony, stop the presses and pump the brakes on the nonsense. Go sit down somewhere and what? Higgity fucking hush. And you know why he knows the sport is telling you that? Because you did not put in the work to apply yourself on the defensive side of the ball. When you say you look up to Michael Jeffrey Jordan, you say you look up to Kobe Bean Bryant, then you have to look up to the fact that these guys were Geppettos. You know what a Geppetto is? Someone who's ambidextrous, someone who plays on both sides of the equation. And if you looked up to those guys, why didn't you commit on both sides of the equation? All boils down to what? Carmelo Anthony was lazy as fuck. Just look at his career choices. Look at the way he moved. When George Karl was trying to tell him to commit on the defensive end, he yelled at him. When Phil Jackson was trying to tell him, look, man, you need to become a defensive dominant player, he basically riled Phil Jackson. Carmelo Anthony does not like criticism, man. That's what this participation, or this contextualizing version of it, Love Participation Award era is about. They don't want you to tell them the truth about themselves. That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat truth teller fashion. Carmelo Anthony, you could have got the biggest salute of the damn day from Hino Sport. But Stop the presses and pump the brakes on the nonsense. Go sit down somewhere and what? You get the biggest what? Higgity fucking hush of the damn day. I keeps the foot on the what? On the X. I keeps the foot on the what? On the X. When it's all said and done, Carmelo Anthony didn't apply himself. And because he didn't apply himself, that's why he couldn't get himself to the next level. This is He Knows the Sport. Checking out.